probably seen some shots of me playing around with this newly toy that is not mine, but a lot of people actually have been doing some stuff with it. It's the Rodecaster Pro. A lot of people have been using it for a lot of their podcasts as a overglorified, if you will, interface that allows you to do plenty of good things. So, but outside of the unit for podcasting, why not use it for multi-track recording? Can it be done? And I have the answer, and the answer is... Before I give you my answer, what is the Rodecaster Pro? Well, it's a unit for those who wish to do podcasting in a radio style fashion, so to speak. You have, let's say, yourself, the host, or there are 4 hosts, or 1 host, 3 guests, or 3 hosts, 1 guest, however you have it. There's a way for you to now connect, sit down, connect your mics, and have conversations with the Rodecaster Pro, and giving you quality professional sound at a fairly decent price. So I have to say, I've played with it. I've been using it on a podcast that I've actually had the pleasure to actually record and film and actually use the gear with it in itself. Now, some people who are audio engineers, such as myself, there's other ways to do the same thing, but this actually kind of really makes it easy for those who do not have that whole engineering brain scheme going on. It may turn you into one, but for the most part, it really is a good unit and simple to use once you kind of know how to dive in and get into it. But this is not one of those tutorials where I show you how to use it, at least not as yet. It's not one of those where I get to show you and play with it and this is what you got to go do and do this and do that and do this. However, I used it outside of its comfort zone in the podcasting style. And why would I do that? Well, simple. If you wish to go beyond its need to record within a show as a podcast, whatever it is that you're doing, this could do a little bit more. It's not just only for podcasting. If you really look at the unit and think about what the unit is, it's nothing more than an overglorified interface. And an interface is nothing more than something that is a link between the outsource or the sound source, the middleman being the interface, and into a computer system or something of another that traps that particular sound that you're trying to record. That's what Rodecaster Pro is. It's just a simple interface. And for what you pay, you can get a little bit more out of it than just really recording for a show type style content. Let's say you have 4 singers and you wanted to really capture those 4 singers and actually get them all going at the same time. Sometimes a lot of people don't have interfaces that have no more than 2 mic inputs in the back. And some usually just have 1. So you may have to do the take over and over and over and over and over. And I'm just really talking about those who are on a budget. And if you're on a budget, you don't always have the money to go and get the biggest bells and whistles of interfaces that allows you to get an orchestra. So you would have to end up going to a studio or something like that. In this particular case here, this can actually do what you need it to do. It is not MIDI capable, but for audio, synths, simple voices, this can do the job. I actually did a session with it where I recorded an artist and we used the Rodecaster Pro. It was the unit of choice. It was the unit available. And we also used the Shure M50, we used this mic. And with that mic and with that setup, it was a win-win situation. It was pretty simple. There is a connection on the back of the unit that allows you to connect to a computer, as well as it takes micro SD cards that allows you to record directly into the unit itself. So again, less headaches. Now, why would you want to connect it into a computer and not use the built-in system? Well, because I thought it would be a lot easier for a recording session to actually manage what I'm seeing. I want to see his voice. I want to put him on about as many tracks as I can put him on. And with that, you're able to do so. Now, you'd have to go and download the Rodecaster app from its website, put it into your system. And with whatever DAW you're using, you have the freedom now to really have a multi-channel track system. So your 4-channel mics now could really just be endless. You have more than just 4 channels at your access depending upon what you're doing. Now, since it was just really one artist, I didn't need 4 channels of mic connections because we just needed one mic, and I was able to open them up, put the track on wherever I needed to put the track, musically that is, and then the rest was for him to really go and do his thing. And did it work? Yes, it worked. And of course, yes, the other answer to the first question that I asked was, it is a little bit more usable than just for podcasting. You could use it in several different ways. I use it on set for a foundation that was going on, and the video was being shot with my camera, but I didn't have my mic connection, and with what we had going on, we really wanted a more like a news person style kind of thing going on. And with another camera that I had in the past, I would have been able to connect that microphone to the camera. But because I didn't have that, and because it was kind of a spur of the moment, we used the Rodecaster Pro and actually connected the mic to it, and then I was able to pull that audio off of there later and match it to the video. So why did I use it? Well, simple, because I wanted to see if it would work, and I know the answer to the question was yes. The owner of the device wanted to actually open a studio, and he wanted to really get some things going, and he was considering getting a whole bunch of other things, and I'm like, there's no need to really get any more than what you already have. You already spent a pretty penny on the mics and the unit itself. The only thing you really need is speakers to hear it out of. And of course, the unit allows you to connect speakers to it so you could hear back what you're doing in a case as such. Now, for a podcasting type of thing, there won't be any real need for you to really hear what the mics are saying unless you kind of have some kind of separate room setup or something like that. It does give you 4 headphone jacks to equal its 4 mic inputs. So if anybody wanted to really hear what the mic sounds like, they could put the headphones on and everybody hears what's going on with the headphones. In this particular case, it was simple. 1 headphone for the artist, 1 headphone for myself if I felt I needed to hear anything, and the speaker setup for the speakers. Once we had that going, the rest was a breeze. I used Adobe Audition, to actually capture the sound, and it works on any DAW. It does the same thing. All DAWs do the same thing. So it doesn't really make a difference what DAW you use. And if you have any issues, you can go right to the Rodecaster Pro's website, and they give you a little rundown on how to use it on whatever DAW that you're using. Pro Tools, Cubase, Studio One, whatever. They all pretty much do the same thing at the end of the day. So I used it for that purpose. I wanted to see if it would work because I knew it would work. I wanted to convince him it was going to work, and he was convinced that it worked, and it came through very, very well. Would I get it for recording purposes? Not necessarily. So I have this old beast here, right? This Digital Design unit. It's a really good unit. It allows me to do mic inputs and MIDI inputs, right? See? MIDI, mics, and instruments. These will be for my speakers, and these will be for additional mics and or instruments. So mic, or line in, line, speaker, SPDIF, and MIDI. So once you actually have something like this, you're able to go a little bit further than what the Rodecaster Pro can do. The Rodecaster Pro only takes mics and only XLR microphone connections. So you're kind of stuck with that. While with this, you could either do XLR or TRS. I believe that's what it's called. With that, you're able to do a lot more. And if I wanted to, I could connect my MPC, which I have over there. I connect my MPC or any other MIDI instrument into it here. So the Rodecaster Pro doesn't allow you to do that. Now, for the most part, most people usually just have an MPK or something kind of small that is USB, and they could go right into there, and then that's your MIDI channel instrument for the most part. But that's a USB MIDI as opposed to true MIDI, which is what this has here in the back. So you're able to do a little bit more with something like this as opposed to the Rodecaster Pro. But let's say you have it, and let's say somebody wants to use it for something a little bit more than just podcasting, you certainly could do that. It's not hard. It works as a breeze. I may even recommend a few people who actually have it, maybe extend the unit for what it could do. It's not just for podcasting alone. It's really good for what it could do. And at its price range, I think it's far exceeds its capability for what it could do. And you can't go wrong with it at all. And maybe the next time, I think what I'll try to do is see, while I'm recording in the laptop, I'm going to try and see if the card would record it as well. I believe it will. It does give you a multi-channel purpose inside the card in itself. I have to take the micro SD card out and put it in an adapter and bring it home. And it's more of a headache trying to really take it out and put it in because my Mac doesn't have it and I don't have a Mac USB adapter. It's really too much for me to really just deal with. So if I just go straight into the laptop, I don't need the SD card at all. The SD card has come in handy before, where I think the day that I was doing the foundation thing and I was doing some filming, I let the card record and I had my laptop elsewhere. I didn't feel like bringing that down. I just used the board itself and let the board record. So again, it has multi-purposes, which gives you multi-options. And I think that's a really good thing. Unlike my interface here, there's nothing to really put a card in. It needs to be connected to a computer in order for it to really work. So that's a really good thing. So the Rodecaster Pro allows you to record directly in without the use of anything else. So I like it. I really like it. I think I probably look forward to using that more than I use the filming stuff, because the filming stuff is pretty easy. It just gives me a chance to play with it some more. There are no EQs, knobs on the board itself. It's just a straight channel, headphone jack volume, main volume, and you're good to go. It's an easy breezy thing. Would I get it? I don't necessarily need it, but I would certainly suggest for those who actually really wish to play with it, by all means, and you're trying to do anything podcasting wise, it's well worth its money for sure. Hope you guys like what I had to give you today on the Rodecaster Pro. I really like it. This is not a sponsor, by the way, but for the most part, that's all I have to give you today. Hit the like and subscribe. Hit a little belly thing to let you guys know I'm coming with stuff when I come with stuff. And I'll see you next week. I promise. I'll see you guys next week. So I gotta go.